And now the Hansons and Hiatus Podcast with Nate and Alexis.
Happy Friday, fuckers. It is episode 61 of the Hansons on Hiatus Podcast. I am your host, Nate, and this is my wife, Alexis.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
And don't forget to support the podcast. buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. You can buy us some virtual beers, and we'll happily chug them.
We will. We will turn them into real beers and chug them.
Yeah, and I wanted to thank the listener, Jonathan Lester. He donated 5 beers to us.
Woohoo!
Really appreciate it. Actually, it was a really nice message. So we get these little messages that you leave when you like to support the podcast there at buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on Hiatus. And he bought us 5 beers and said, Nate, been a big fan since Bailey and Southside. Your sense of humor is awesome, and Alexis is a perfect compliment. Happy belated birthday, Alexis. I love traveling, dogs, and chugging a beer or two. I really enjoy the show. Cheers.
Oh, that was so nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. That was the sweetest message ever.
Yeah, so thank you. We appreciate it. And we appreciate any help. We're just doing this for fun, so anything that supports the podcast, we really appreciate it.
You guys keep it going.
Yes,
you do. You're part of it.
And you can listen and watch. You can watch the podcast on YouTube and Spotify at Hansons on Hiatus. But you can also follow us on Instagram, iTunes, Google Podcasts. Although I did just get an email, I think, that they are getting rid of Google Podcasts.
Oh, I wonder why.
I don't know. It said something about going over to Google Music or something. So I think maybe they're getting rid of the podcast section, and they're just kind of combining like Spotify does. Like they have music and podcasts and, comedians and everything like that all in the same spot.
That would make more sense. One-stop shop.
Yeah, so if you are listening on Google Podcasts, I'm sure you're getting a message, and maybe it'll just transfer over. I don't know. So, but if you're having any issues, shoot me a message, and I'll see what I can do to fix it. Yeah. So this past weekend, did not realize there were so many holidays going on.
They all snuck up on us, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, we didn't even mention, well, first of all, we didn't even mention Cinco de Mayo.
We really didn't.
And even though, as probably most people know, I think we've talked about this before, but Cinco de Mayo is not really celebrated here in Mexico, other than in the state of Puebla for the Battle of Puebla. That's actually what Cinco de Mayo is all about.
1862.
Yep.
I'll never forget that date.
Why is that?
Carlos taught me when we were in Cozumel.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you had like a rhyme, like 1862.
Yeah. Sailed the ocean blue. No, that's what it was.
Yeah. So, we didn't even mention that, but I don't. Did we even do anything? Oh, I guess we went over to Cozumel, but we didn't really celebrate it.
It was like a mixture that day.
Yeah.
All the celebrations in one.
I think
holidays.
it's funny. Like, it's not a big deal, like that to me, that Americans celebrate it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it seems like some I don't know if they're offended or they're just like, you're dumb. This has nothing to do with us or the whole country, really.
I think the latter.
But it doesn't really make sense to me, because if, let's say, we lived in the U.S. and we found out Panama was celebrating what's the thing in Boston? It's like Patriots Day or something like that, where it's not really a celebration in the whole United States. It's just in Boston. Mm-hmm. If I found out the whole country of Panama was celebrating Patriots Day, I'd be like, all right, it's kind of funny. I mean, it's weird, kind of funny, but I'm not going to be like, that's not our American holiday. It's like, who cares? Like if it's, I don't know. I just don't get the big deal about it. Yeah, if you don't know that it is not the day of independence for Mexico, then you should be educated on it. But if somebody's celebrating a holiday in another country, for our country, I think that's kind of cool, actually.
It is kind of cool. It is a little weird, but I think everyone we were talking to about it kind of just chalked it up to, oh, Americans, another drinking holiday. Like it's an excuse to party and drink or whatever. But
are the Irish crying about, fucking St. Patrick's Day? I doubt it's the same, celebrate. I'm sure they do something. Yeah. Actually, I don't really know. But I don't hear like the Irish complaining about Americans getting drunk on St. Patrick's Day. Yeah,
maybe they're just, like you're saying, they're kind of confused. Like, why are you celebrating this kind of a smaller holiday for one area of Mexico in your whole country of the United States?
Yeah.
Like, it seems odd.
And I remember reading a few years ago that some places in like the UK or something do like America parties. And I don't know if they do it on 4th of July or whatever, but they legit dress up like red, white, and blue, and they wear, I don't know, wife beaters and mullets and stuff.
God,
and I'm like, hilarious. I'm not offended by that. I think that's fucking hilarious.
I would love to see their take on American culture. Like,
well, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Wife beaters and mullets, baby.
This is how you think of us? Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then where there was Dia de Niño.
Dia de Niños.
Yeah. That was the Children's Day. So that one was pretty cool, I think.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, no, I think it's just Dia de Niño, even though I
Okay.
feel like it should be Niños. But
Day of the Kids.
yeah, so it's basically just kind of like Mother's Day and Father's Day, but for children. From what we understand, they let them pick like what they're doing that day, going for dinner. It's just like a day about kids, like what they're going to have for dinner. They get to pick that out, and it makes them feel special and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
It's so cute.
And I saw in the U.S. Some of my like Mexican friends or Hispanic friends in the U.S. They celebrate it with their kids there. So it's just. Like, oh, blah, 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 pick this, this dessert out for, Children's Day. So that's pretty cool. And then they have Mexican Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of things are closed there. And they're all like right in a row.
Yeah.
And then there was the Kentucky Derby, which is not, a holiday, but that was just something else going on.
It was a fun American event.
Yep.
that we watched and drank at.
And then there was like hockey going on. It's like in the playoffs, I believe now, right?
It was like the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
We knew that from our Canadian friends.
And then I think the NBA is in the playoffs as well. So, I mean, it was just a busy fucking weekend.
Yeah.
Right?
And then you forgot the most important one.
What's that?
Greek Easter.
Oh, yeah, Greek
Yay.
Easter, which we didn't do anything for.
Yeah, it's kind of like hit or miss here. Well, in this year, it's really late. Like it's in May.
Yeah.
So usually it's closer towards like American Easter, I grew up saying. So,
Do you know what the difference is?
well,
Like,
it's
what is Greek Easter?
Greek Easter, and I'm going to sound terrible right now. And I always have to refresh
Sorry, I
myself.
didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, you did. It's like after Lent ends, it's like the first day of something. And then that's supposed to be our Easter. So sometimes it's really close. Sometimes it's in March. Sometimes it's in April. Sometimes it's in May. Like this is my first one that I can really remember that's in like May.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
so
this
late.
is the first one I remembered that Greek Easter was on Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of funny. I didn't even realize it till like last week, and I photoshopped this image of I don't know, whatever the saint is, and it's and in Greek Easter you only dye the eggs red. And so it's like a basket of red eggs with this like saint on it, and I photoshopped a little sombrero and a taco in her hand.
Yeah. I don't know if my whole family.
Some of your
noticed
family
that.
laughed at it, like your religious aunt, I don't think laughed at it or even responded. So hopefully I didn't offend. It was just kind of a little haha.
Yeah, they like your humor. They
Okay,
get
good.
it.
I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
get you're a funny guy.
Yeah.
They all have a very good sense of humor.
Yeah, and then also on top of all this other stuff, there was the last two games of our soccer teams.
Yes.
And I think last week we talked about how they're in the playoffs now, and I kind of learned a little bit more about it now. So, which I did not realize that they play a home and an away series like in the playoffs. So
yeah, it's
like
different than ours.
yeah, so you get like one game, here, and then they had to go and play the other game there, which is weird to have a series of two.
Yeah.
So what happened was like one of like the games that we watched at home, I believe, did we win? I think we lost one and tied one.
Yeah, lost
So
and tied.
so we had to win, I believe, with our older team, and then the younger team had to tie or win.
Yeah.
And I think they tied and lost in a shootout, and then the other one lost like 0-1. So we are out. But I thought that was weird.
Yeah, why isn't it like a best out of 7 or whatever?
Yeah,
like,
well, I mean, that would be a little much because these are lower league teams.
True.
I'm surprised they even do two.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I know it's a thing, but at this level, are the crowds really that big a deal?
Yeah.
On like the third and fourth tier professional Mexican soccer circuit, is the crowd really doing that much? And even in the professionals, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. What I know mainly is soccer and wrestling. Soccer, you hear your coach and stuff, and you kind of hear the crowd a little bit, but I don't think it's like really motivated me to like win because of my crowd was there or anything.
Yeah.
And in wrestling, it's just like I'm deaf. Like I can't hear a thing because I'm concentrating so hard on, what I'm doing. And I could maybe hear my coach a little bit, but I don't hear the crowd at all. Like
Yeah.
it could honestly not even be there. So I don't know. Like I'm sure there's some study done that has said that, if it helps or not to have home and away, but they don't do that in like the playoffs in the NFL.
Yeah.
You don't play there and then have to go to the other home team,
Well, you do the best out of whatever it is, a couple or
Not in the
three, like
NFL.
They
You're
don't-
thinking NHL.
Oh,
Yeah, like in
true.
like in pro football.
Yeah.
Like the playoffs are the playoffs. You don't go back and forth, right? It's like
True.
it's like tournament play.
Yeah. Don't they play in like an off home field
Oh, like
or
a
something?
like a neutral place.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell
pretty
you.
sure
I don't
they
want to say
do
it
that.
wrong.
But I always remember, and I don't know the playoffs, I always remember the Steelers are like, we always do better at home, on our home turf, on our home field. And then when you go, it's kind of like hit or miss.
Yeah.
But
our friend Mary Lou said that that's how they play in like the, what'd she say, like Champions Cup or something, the leagues in Europe.
Yeah.
They do home and away. And so I guess it's a thing in, I professional soccer.
Soccer was soccer. I thought there's one rule, and there's a little bit here and there, but these are like quite different. So that was interesting to.
Yeah.
I thought it was always the same.
Yeah, who knows? But so we are unfortunately out. We no more soccer games for a while. I don't know when this
year.
It was a lot of fun. We really got into it this year, even though we don't know all the players and everything yet, but we just had a lot of fun at the games, and it's something to do, and it's free, and you can bring your own shit or whatever.
I think we went to enough that I recognize those guys some places. When we're at the track running ourselves, there's always a couple there, like a couple on the street, and we see the coaches sometimes and things like that. So they're definitely around.
Oh, yeah, we recognize the coach.
Yes, we do.
So we were in the stands watching the senior team, and the junior team's coach was sitting like 2 rows in front of us. And I recognize him because we see him when we're at the track, running and stuff.
He's a recognizable dude. He's a good-looking guy, very tall and slender, nice salt and peppery hair, very, easy to recognize.
And he had a girl that I don't think he was with. And so
he was with, but not with.
To set the scene, we are like, we're the only white people there. It's like you, me, and whoever else we bring. We're just surrounded by all the local Mexicans, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
But he had brought this black girl, and she seemed like she was on vacation.
Yes.
I don't think this was his girlfriend, because he was sitting in front of her, and she would take his mouth and like turn his head upside down and just start making out with him, like blah, blah, blah,
I know. We were like, what is happening?
And she was just super drunk, just getting up and yelling, and she's just like, keep going.
She had one of those voices that you're just like, please stop yelling. It is like hurting my soul, just screaming like, get the fuck out of here. Oh my God, keep running. And then I'm pretty sure at one point she was like rooting for the wrong team because she was so drunk and confused.
Yeah, rooting for the wrong team. Like I said, tilting his head back, making out with him. Just, you gotta be crazy. You gotta be crazy. She just yelled. I don't even think she knew what game she was at. She was screaming, go Mexico. Yeah. And both of these teams are from fucking Mexico. So I really feel like the coach just picked up this girl at like Senior Frogs and like, hey, buy me 2 like appletinis, and I'll come to the game with you. Because I don't think she knew where she was. But I will say she was chugging some beers, and I think I need to have her on the next Beer Chugs in Harmony because this girl was getting it.
She was chugging.
Oh man! So
oh my God.
Yeah, so that was a little interesting.
That was interesting. So now when we see him occasionally, I'm like, hi. I feel awkward almost, like I busted you, but I don't know what you're doing. Just keep doing what you're doing, buddy.
Oh my God, right? And let's see, you had some Airbnb guests that had a few issues.
Bro.
What was the one they left their keys, right?
Right. So usually when people, like our latest checkout is 11, and then people ask for late checkouts or whatever, but we're pretty strict about the times because they're such big properties. You need the time to clean it. So this one girl, she left at like 10:30, went to the Tulum airport, which is about like 40 minutes away from the property. And the maids are there already cleaning, and boom, picture shows up. Keys are here, like key fob, all the keys to everything, the little gym, scan pass thing for somewhere, all the things. So we send it to her like, bro, your keys are here. Do you want to we'll schedule a taxi to bring them to you. She kind of waits a minute, doesn't reply. Then she replies and is like, oh, those are my house keys. I need those. They're so important. And I'm trying to communicate with her. I will schedule a taxi and have it come to you so you don't miss your flight. And she's like, no, we'll come back. Do I have time? And we're like, we don't want you to miss your flight. So she's like, no, I'm coming back because I also left my vape pen there, and I can see with my, what is it, AirTag or whatever. She's like, I can see that it's there. I know I left it on the bed. So then we tell the maids find it. Guess what it is?
Weed pen.
Yes, it is a vape pen, but it's a big old cartridge THC weed pen, brand spanking new. She probably bought it down here somewhere.
I just picture the maids hitting it and vacuuming, yeah, baby,
thanks, lady. But she's like, oh my God, we're coming back, and we're advising her, please don't come back. We will, it's safe. We have them. We sent her a picture. We have both. No worries, no harm, no foul. We'll bring it to, no, I'm already in the taxi on the way. The maids, we passes it to security. So I don't know if she was worried she was going to get in trouble, or she bought this for a lot of money, enough to come out of security at an airport to go back and get it.
Yeah,
the keys
ridiculous.
I can see, weed pen, whatever, I'm leaving it. But the keys, I'd be like, yes, whatever you need, send it to me now, a taxi, bring it to me ASAP. But even keys you can replace.
Yeah,
so
and they could have just got it sent to them, but they wanted to come back and go back again. And then, did they miss their flight?
No, they actually made it. I
wow.
have
Shocking.
no idea how,
Shocking.
because that was the longest 40. The trip there was the longest 40 minutes of me and the Airbnb boss's life. We were like, where are you? How close are you? Please turn your live location on. Blah blah blah. Nothing. And then they were there, and then we're like, get the fuck out of here! You're gonna miss your flight. It's just. It's insane to me how risky people are sometimes with that.
Yeah. And then we had a guest here in Playa, and I'm going to call her Muzzle because I can't fucking pronounce her first name.
Yes. I don't care what her name is.
Yeah. AKA bitch. But bitch go ahead and tell what happened here.
So this is, I know this could be a long story, but I'll keep it as short as possible. Yeah. She's a friend of a friend here in Playa. We meet a lot of friends like that. We have our core friend group that live here, and then there's people that come and go for a few months or half a year, and we all become friends. You're hanging out, you're going to the beach, whatever. You meet, and we've made a lot of friends that way with our core set of friends here. So one of our friends is this is a friend of my friends. She needs a place to rent, and for a little over a month, looking for a place. Told her, oh, my best friend's not in town. We can rent it out for you for a month. Whatever. Met her a couple times. Seems like a normal girl. She has a dog. Dog seems nice. Everything seems cool. So me and my bestie went back and forth for a while trying to see if we want to rent to her because the dog. That's what we were worried about. Her dog, kind of a fuzzy, shaggy dog, all the hair, stuff like that. We're kind of worried. Is he going to destroy anything? She swore up and down. Everything's fine. So she's in there, not great at communicating at all. Just little things like the door code will change, whatever. We'll send her information, or, hey, we're ordering water, or you do it. I'm like, are you alive up there? Are you doing okay? I haven't heard from you. But I'll see her out and about with some of our mutual friends. So I'm like, okay, she's fine. When she does reply, she'll just be like, yeah, everything's cool. Very short. That's fine. Whatever. No problem.
Yeah.
So then
all good. Thanks.
all good. Fast forward, through the month and a half, she's checking out, and then she starts messaging me, hey, I have pretty much coming clean with some things. I wanted to let you know that the mop that was up here broke kind of early on when I first started staying here. I was like, oh, okay, it was kind of an older mop. I could see that happening, whatever. Just, replace it or leave me money for a new one. It's a mop, whatever. That's fine. But we still need a mop up there. She's like, yeah. And the bucket's broken too. The buckets have that squeezy part to wring your mop out.
Right.
That was completely busted up. And I don't know how you do that, but I was like, okay, no problem. Also, replace it or pay for it. And she's in a rush all day. She's working, and she's like, oh, I'm flying out soon, tomorrow, this and that, whatever. So I'm like, okay, no problem. Just leave me money then. Or you can literally Venmo, Zelle, Wise me the money. It's fine. I understand you're in a rush.
Yeah,
so
being cool.
So she's like, okay, cool. Thank you for being so understanding and accommodating and all these things. And it's been wonderful staying here and blah, 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 blah. So then she is moving with one of our other friends that lives here, moving all her stuff out to her new Airbnb, which I didn't think about it until then. Obviously, she's still here for a couple of days, and she's flying out at the end of the week. Regardless, she takes all her stuff. She leaves her dog here with our friend, not in my bestie's unit, in another unit. She's like, everything's out of there, no problem. I have the key on the counter. I'll be right back so we can, talk face to face, everything, make sure everything's good, whatever, something like that. So I'm like, okay, great. I start heading up there with all my cleaning stuff. As soon as I open the door, I'm just so mad. I'm I'm seeing red. I'm disgusted. I'm pissed off. I'm so upset. I want to like find this girl and beat the shit out of her. And for me is like, it takes a lot for me to get mad. Don't disrespect me, my friends, or my friends' things or my things. Like that's my number one thing. Don't fuck with that stuff or else I'm going to get really pissed off. So I get up there and I just start texting her. This is Muzzle, whatever. This is bad. I was like, this is really bad. We have big problems up here. The sink is clogged full of shit. I'm sending her pictures. The sink is clogged. There's dishes all over the counter. And she had originally told me, hey, I'm sorry. There's a couple dishes. I didn't get to clean them yet because I've been working all day. No problem. I was like, no problem. Couple dishes. That's fine. No, it's a counter full of greasy ass, disgusting, caked on dishes that were not just used in a couple hours in one day. They've been there for weeks. And then she said her excuse was, I couldn't clean the dishes because the sink was clogged, because there's a bunch of shit in the sink, a bunch of food, French fries, all sorts of stuff just caked in there. In Mexico, you cannot put food down the drain.
I mean, nowhere really, unless you have a garbage disposal.
Yeah, it doesn't have a garbage disposal. These are very simple, with the U pipe. It's not going anywhere. It's just sitting there. You can't put food down the drain. It's gonna get clogged. So that was my first thing. And I'm like, I see the air fryer door is cracked. Brand new air fryer. My best friend just bought it right before she left last time. Barely, but it was used like once or twice. Cracked the whole thing. And then...
and the dishes were covering the air fryer like she was trying to hide the fact that she had cracked it.
Exactly. What was the other thing? There was like dog food and stuff everywhere.
Well, and the mop that was broken... It didn't look like, like the head of the mop popped off.
Yeah.
It looked like a fucking jaguar ripped it off with their teeth. Like it's steel or metal or whatever. And it was like just frayed.
It was terrible.
And then the same thing with you're saying, like with the mop thing that you kind of squeegee it out. It looks like somebody like He-Man'd the fucking mop through it or put their foot through it. Like it broke all the little like leg things, like they were connecting it.
Like
I mean, it was just destroyed. And the dirty dishes were covering the air fryer, so she was trying to hide that, and like you said, the sink was disgusting. It was just gross.
And this wasn't like, it was just the kitchen area and this was a bad day or she really didn't have time or something. It was all over the apartment. There was caked on, like she, when you wash your hair, well, you don't know, as a girl, you have a lot of hair, you get like clumps. I'm a normal person, I wash them down the drain. No, she right on the wall of the glass, right on the wall of the shower, like everywhere, clumped on hair. There looked like there was food, dog food, or maybe people food or both, down the shower drain. I like had to pop up the drain because the shower wasn't going down either. There's freaking food in there and stuff. Like, what is wrong with you? Just stuff, broken makeup everywhere. Like, it was her mission. Like she thought, I paid a cleaning fee, so I can just totally trash the hell out of this place.
And when you swept, the pile was just like sand and hair and dust and
like a makeup compact,
pesos and dog food. It was like she had never swept that whole floor in a month and a half.
Over a month. Oh my God. And then the key was up there. I was like, where's the keychain? Where, there was just a list of things. I'm saying, not being rude. I'm not swearing. I'm not calling her names. I'm not using anything like that. I'm literally listing out for her. This is not good. This is what I'm seeing. That she was like, don't worry. I'm coming back. We can talk about this face to face. Obviously you're coming back. Your dog's here. Duh. Yeah. So she comes back to talk face to face, comes up. I let her in. She's in the doorway. The door's open to the unit. In the doorway, I'm standing by the sink, which is a few feet from each other. We're talking, and she's like, I can't. I told you I was coming back. I can't handle you being disrespectful to me. And I just lost it. I was like, disrespectful? This is disrespectful. You completely disrespected my best friend's entire house. This is her home. These are her things. This isn't an Airbnb. This isn't like whatever. You don't know these people. You know me. You know my friends. This is my friend. This is my best friend's place that we trusted you to live in for a while. Dirt, whatever. That's fine. It's, we live in a sandy place. Beachy town.
Yeah.
So there's going to be stuff. I'm not stupid, but to leave, I would never leave an Airbnb that for a stranger to clean up. Are you kidding me? And I looked at her, was like, you understand, you comprehend that I'm cleaning this. So for a friend of a friend, like friends, you're leaving this. And she just had excuse after excuse. The air fryer was like that. The sink's fucked up. the mop was broken like the first day. The bucket was the keychain fell off the first day. I can try and find it. Why are you waiting till the last day, the last hour, the last minute for all of this when I would have been like, I'm so sorry, I don't have time. I broke A, B, and C. Here's more money, or let me fix it, or don't say you have a couple dishes and then you have a sink full of bullshit.
I just don't understand these dirty ass people that act like they were just told 5 hours ago that they had to move.
Yeah.
It's like you knew when you booked until like maybe a few days. And then, like you said, don't have to clean it up, but like just straighten up. I go to a Red Roof Inn and before I leave, I take everything, like all the trash that's maybe pizza boxes or whatever, put it in that tiny little trash can. I take all the towels and I put them in a pile for it. Just make it easy. Like it's not even about like if you paid a cleaning fee or whatever. It's just being like a decent fucking human.
Exactly.
Like what a dirty fucking muzzle.
Especially, and I had, one of our friends here, the neighbor, she came over, it was like completely disgusted too. Like I would never do that to somebody I knew or somebody, like we're not best friends, but you're friends with my friends. So we're considered friends. I trusted you here and you're going to like leave bullshit everywhere.
Who's friends?
For me to clean. Oh, she got an attitude. I'm nobody's friends, blah, 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 this and that. I was like screaming at her to get the fuck out of here. Take your dog, leave. I don't want to see you again. Get out of here. Like
you were like, did I pay you? Did I pay you?
She kept saying, did I pay you? Did I pay you? You paid for the cleaning fee. That doesn't mean you can like
shit on the floor.
This is for basic cleaning, not for a whole, whatever. And we're still finding more shit that she did. More things everywhere. Paint on a new patio set for some reason. It's either paint or a melted dog toy or melted food. I don't know. But it's like she had 20 dudes staying in there. This one tiny little girl. It was so disgusting. I'm still like fuming about it. I can't believe it. And then her attitude saying I was being disrespectful to her. I didn't swear at her. I didn't call her names. I didn't call her anything. It was like, this is disrespectful. This is 100% unacceptable. This is so rude and disgusting. I can't believe you were living like this. And that's disrespectful to talk to you that way. Okay, you can get the fuck out. Then she was like, I don't even remember what she said, but she calls my best friend a bitch because she was asking about all she did was ask how many water, because we buy the water jugs here, how many water jugs were left, how many she used. In like a month, she used 4 of them, 3 or 4 of them. Are you kidding me? No, I'm sorry, 3 of them. So whatever, most people, when you use something, you replace it.
Right.
I know some Airbnbs do not give water. We're not an Airbnb, number one. But I told her, you have water to start out with, then you move on to your own. She used the other 2, 25 liters or whatever it's in there. So she used all of that, used every single toiletry imaginable there. All the shampoo, all the soap, all the toilet paper, 5 beach towels, 4 bath towels, 3 sets of sheets. She destroyed the bathroom rug. I don't even remember what else she used. Endless amounts of like all the pillowcases. What are you doing up there? Didn't do laundry once, didn't clean up once. I can't believe it. And then it all makes sense because she was complaining about ants originally. And I was like, there should be no ants up there. You're on the 4th floor. There's no bugs up there. Don't leave food out. Make sure you clean up, whatever. When I get up there, of course, she didn't clean up, left all the food out. There were ants in the air fryer. There were fries in there and just bullshit and crumbs and everything. There were ants everywhere in that place. I had to wipe the walls down, like everything down because it was that disgusting. And she still got it, like excuses and lies and attitude and whatever. I had no problem telling her, get the fuck out of here. If I ever see you again around here, like we're going to have problems. Get the fuck out. Oh, and that is not me. Half of our neighbors heard me yelling at her, get the fuck out.
Well, I did. I was out in the hallway because I wanted to make sure you were okay because I knew you were steaming and you wanted to go like, or when she was coming back, you were going to like talk to her and I can hear you guys like it escalating and I'm just like vibrating because I'm thinking about, okay, when do I go up? When do I support her? Because I don't want to like get in the way of like your guys. If it was going to be civil, I didn't want to escalate it.
Yeah, I didn't want you to be like intimidating.
And I was just getting like, and then I'm like, what would I say to her? And I was just ready to like almost up the stairs to be like, get the fuck, don't you talk to my wife like that. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here, blah, blah, blah. But then you did that. So I was like, all right, there we go.
No problem. I said, get your fucking dog. Sorry, dog. I know you have a bad mom. You have nothing to do with this. Get your fucking dog. get out of here.
Yeah,
Just
but
get
I
out.
recorded the whole thing, which came in handy because she sent you a message after she left, and what did she say?
Oh yeah, she makes a group chat on WhatsApp with her, me, and my best friend, and just lists out 4 huge bullet points. Number 1, about renting the unit or this and that. She was like, that doesn't even matter. Renting the unit, blah, blah, blah.
No, she was threatening to tell our landlord
Yeah.
that we were renting out the unit, which we have permission to
We're
because
allowed.
it's friends and family.
Friends and family. We're not on any rental platforms, any of that.
You were friends with our landlord and literally you show the places to other people that are looking to rent them for him.
Exactly.
You make videos for him for that.
Yeah.
And then she was, she said that she went to the police. And filed a police report and said that we were harassing her, that you were getting aggressive, that you were threatening her. Yeah, you were in her face, that you were threatening her. None of that happened. Yeah. You were like 10 feet apart or 5 feet apart or something?
We were like 5 feet apart. Never once was I like lunging at her, anything like that. If anything, I was like Vanna White circling. This is disrespectful. I didn't get in her face. And the door was open. She could have ran out if she was so scared that I was in her face. She walked out normally, walked up to go get her dog. I walked downstairs. I was like, get the fuck out. I'll call my landlord myself. You have no idea what you're talking about. She was like, you have videos of renting this out. I said, he does too. What is it? And then the 4th one was, I don't even remember. Like, don't.
Well, she was like, nobody disrespects me like that or whatever. And I don't know.
Yeah. So then I sent her a bunch of things back. I said, tier number 1, we are friends. He knows these do rent out. I help rent these out and I'm allowed to rent this out. Just like the place next to me. That's mine. I get to rent this out too, however I see fit. I don't rent it on platforms. I was like, no, you didn't. To her police report thing. Number 1, this is Mexico. They're not coming over here because you have no proof
because you had a
of anything.
disagreement.
Yeah, because I didn't even kick her out of the unit. She was leaving that day. She was already moved out. None of her things, not all of her
And she was in our place.
She was in our place. I told her, get the fuck out because she was disrespecting me and my best friend. So get out. I was like, no, you're not. Bye.
Yeah, you just called her bluff, basically. She's just one of those trashy, entitled people that thinks that that plays the victim when they get called out. I would say there's 2 types of people when they get embarrassed by things, which she should have been embarrassed because that place was fucking disgusting and you're a fucking pig if you're listening to this.
I feel bad for her future, whatever.
Yeah, but there's 2 types of people when they get called out on their bullshit or, get embarrassed. Mm-hmm. And oh my God, I'm so sorry. How can we rectify this? Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Like, what can I do?
I told you I would clean the dishes. Oh, I would love you to clean these right now. I'm sure you'll do such a fantastic job.
And the other kind of person is the person that gets defensive. And you'll often see this on like People's Court or Judge Judy or whatever. They get mad when they get called out and then they try to spin things to play the victim and that, you are harassing me.
Yeah.
No, bitch. They were texting you to get their the money rectified for the things that you broke.
Yes.
Texting somebody and saying, hey, you need to come back here. Hey, you broke this. Mm-hmm. That is not harassing. No. That is texting. You can't just change what words mean just to make it sound like you're the fucking victim because you're not. You're dirty and disgusting.
So like a month and a half, you knew you were moving out. She told me the day she was moving out and the time. You didn't clean up anything. You weren't proactive. She said she was going to go shopping and replace some of the things she used. How are you going to do that? And when you didn't even replace the mop and the bucket in a month and a half that you broke apparently, and the air fryer. So I don't understand. So entitled, trying to flip everything. I don't know. I'm still beside myself. I'm still fuming. This girl, just the fact that she looked at me like, I don't know what your problem is. I don't know. I paid the cleaning fee. This isn't just a cleaning fee. Took me hours to clean that place. Right. 2 huge bags of laundry and a comforter set. Like, are you kidding me?
Well, and the funny thing is, like, she's in this group of friends that we're in.
Yeah.
In a social group, and we've already made them aware of what happened and how she is or whatever, because she's going to try to play the victim and tell them or whatever. But we came with receipts, bitch.
We came with receipts. I got you.
We got pictures, video. Like, you can't look at that and not know you're disgusting. And then also, like, all these girls know you and they know how you are. you are the last person that they would think that would be aggressive with somebody.
Yes.
She pushed you to that point where you were like, get the fuck out, but you were nowhere near aggressive or did anything to her. She's just, an entitled person
All
that thinks
of the
that
girls
everybody
here-
should bend over backwards for her.
Exactly. All of the girls here know my character, our character. They know exactly who we are. And they're already spreading the word. She's not gonna be able to rent anywhere. Apply it. I was like, spread it, ladies. Just tell everybody. It's so disgusting.
Yeah. So,
our one neighbor, she heard me. She goes, I could tell it was your voice, and then I heard things getting louder, and I'm like, that can't possibly be Alexis yelling. It takes a lot for me, but I was like losing it on her.
yeah.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
just clean up your shit. I mean, I know that's a big thing with Airbnbs. People are like, why should I have to do this or whatever?
Right.
We're not saying like go out of your way to like make it spotless. Just kind of straighten up.
Exactly.
Straighten up. That's a good word
And like
for
you
it.
said, I know some Airbnbs are like, strip the bed, put the towels in the laundry,
Yeah.
do the laundry, whatever.
Do all the dishes. Or
I didn't
whatever.
ask her anything.
Yeah.
Just, she knew my best friend's coming the next day. I need to get in there and clean. I allowed her to stay there for half of the day. I said, when do you need to stay there? By 3:30? I'm working. Cool, no problem. I don't want to clean around dinner time, but whatever. It is what it is. She's coming early the next day. So this is my place to take care of. I'm cleaning. My best friend's home. And then you don't do anything. So
Yeah. So, yeah, just straighten up a little bit before you leave. Be respectful. Somebody has to clean. So, like I said, same thing in a hotel. These are people. Somebody has to do this stuff, and just be a good person. Be a good person and a good human.
yes.
So
Okay, too.
yeah. Anyway, but then we also had like we said, the Kentucky Derby. So we went over to our friend's place and had a couple pre-derby cocktails,
Mhm.
and our friend Shelly was like, I want to go, like, she's a big like derby person, so it's just like, I want to go see like all the pre-races and everything like that.
She loves all sports.
So she's like, we got to go by like 3:00, I think it was.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay, cool. So we all get together, and then we all leave our friend's apartment, go over to this bar where we're watching it, and we're watching some of like the pre-race stuff on TV and everything. And somebody was like, what time's the race at? And I was like, oh, let me look. And I look it up, 7:00. We were like 3 hours early.
We all were.
Yeah, well, yeah, 6:00 our time, but yeah, 7:00. Eastern. So yeah, we need to look at the time before we go.
We do. I mean, and that one was confusing. When I looked it up, it said all the pre-show stuff starts at 2. Then the pre-races start at 4, and then I didn't even see anything about 6 or 7 o'clock. So I just thought, okay, pre-races are at 4, maybe an hour or two, and then there's the race. That makes sense. 6, 7 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly.
Got us all.
Yeah, definitely. One other thing I wanted to mention, we were going to Cozumel this past weekend, and we were walking down the street, and it was you, me, and our friend Tiffany and her cousin. And I didn't even hear this at first. This guy started yelling, Nate, Nate.
Yeah.
We're like, you guys were like, what the hell? And
I hear, did you do Nate?
Oh, okay.
I'm like, oh, who knows us here? Like, to say that specific, like not just Nate. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah. And I turned around, and he's like, hey, what's up, man? And it was this one of our friend listener, Rob, and he had messaged me saying, hey, I'm going to be in Playa next week. And I think I'd messaged him back and said, hey, like, when or where you staying or whatever. But we didn't I don't know if we didn't see each other's messages or whatever. And we just happened to be walking down Fifth Avenue at the same time. And he saw me. I think he was there for his wife's birthday. So happy birthday.
Yes.
But just what are the chances? He's not only is he staying in Playa del Carmen, happens to know me from the Atlanta radio show, but that we were walking down the street at the same time and it was like 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah, we were going early on the early
or maybe
ferry.
9 a.m. or something. But yeah, so
they were so
funny.
sweet and nice. His wife was just like, "Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed. I'm sorry." He's like yelling your name. I was like, "No, don't be. This doesn't happen a lot, but it
Yeah, well, not anymore. I mean,
That's
being
what
in Mexico,
friends do.
but
Yeah.
what are the chances? Like
We
run
were
into an old diehard
I
from
know.
Atlanta.
so funny. We're like, glad to meet you.
Yeah. So, and the other thing I wanted to mention, tomorrow is the 6-year anniversary of me doing Beer Chugs in Harmony.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Congrats. Let me be clear. You have literally been chugging a beer every Friday for 6 years. Not just a beer, a different beer every Friday for 6 years.
Yeah, let me see. Thank
to
you.
Be consistent, sir.
Yeah,
Dedicated.
let me see how many that is. Like 52 times 6.
Oh my gosh.
312 beers or chugs or 312 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
I got my streak going. That has to be a record. Do you think I could get in Guinness for that?
I think you could. Maybe we need to look that up. I honestly thought the number would be higher, but that makes sense.
You know, I mean, I'm just going by 52 weeks and times 6 is
your math checks out.
312. I mean,
That's
gosh,
a lot of beers.
I think 2018 is when I started it. And
wow.
anybody that listens to the old radio show and everything, like we were doing mornings. So the way it started was we weren't drinking during the week. That was when we decided to get healthy and like start getting in shape and eating better and everything like that. So we're like, no drinking during the week unless it's like a birthday or something
special
going on. And so after we got out of the show on Friday, one day somebody gave me a beer and I was like, I'm gonna chug this on camera and put it on the internet or whatever. and it just started with me doing like playing my Amazon Echo in the background with a song I liked, and so it was just in the background. I was like, hey, this is a beer, and my buddy brought it to me, and I just kind of talk about it a little bit, and then it just started like rolling, and then I started doing video editing with it, and I really taught myself how to do a lot of different Adobe Premiere and After Effects stuff with it. But yeah, I've done it in Egypt and Greece and all over the U.S. and all over Mexico, and yeah, it's been a fucking long ass time.
It's been a long time. I remember all of the when we were in the house in Alpharetta, all the costumes you would buy. I was working my normal, 8 to 5, 9 to 5, and I'd come home and there'd always be something. Green screen down, bunny costume, Jesus costume, beer everywhere, something going on. Oh, I was doing my chug, tripods, all sorts of lights and things. I'm like, what is happening?
And even before I had all that, I didn't even have a green screen. Nope. I went to like Party City and I bought green paper and I taped it all over the wall. Like
poster board.
Yeah, the poster boards. And I just kind of taped it all over the wall. And that's how I started learning about green screening and things like that. So yeah, it's been quite a while. I will say though, I'm probably pretty close to not doing it every week, and just like doing it when I get like a fun, funky beer.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, I mean, a lot of times people will bring me beers or I'll find some cool ones or whatever. But sometimes I'm like, fuck, it's Friday. Like, what do I chug? And I'm kind of stretching for a beer.
Yeah.
So I might get to the point this year, some point, that I'm going to just do like maybe every other week or maybe 3 times a month or, once a month or every week, just depending on if I get something cool that I think is worthy rather than just trying to throw something out there just to do it.
Yeah. I think you should do some Friday flashbacks of your past ones, like bring those up because they're really fun to watch. You pop them up sometimes and it's, Baby Nate and in different places and different beers that we forgot about or different situations.
Yeah. And I've kind of developed like a system, or not a system, but like a format, I guess, like Happy Friday, fuckers, another Beer Chugs in Harmony. And then I talk about the brewery, the beer, a little bit about the beer. Then I talk about what I'm doing this weekend or a holiday or where I'm at or what's going on or whatever. So yeah, like I should do that. And then that's what I think I want to do once I get to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do this every Friday. I'm going to do like a big compilation of like all my intros or all just me going, Happy Friday, fuckers. Happy Friday, fuckers. Happy Friday, fuckers. Yeah, just over and over again. So yeah, I need to like compile them, but I mean, they're on different hard drives and externals and stuff because I've been doing it for 6 years.
Everywhere. I mean, you definitely, I applaud you because I remember being with your first Beer Chugs, and if there were, even though you were on the radio and doing crazy things, when you would go do your chug on, remote locations, you'd kind of be a little nervous if there are people around or we do a couple takes if you messed up. Now you're like, I mean, you got to that point, just one and done. You say everything once, you get it perfect, you nail it. We don't care if people are around. You're like a natural at it. So kudos to you. Cheers to you.
Yeah. I mean, I've done it with Will Turpin from Collective Soul.
Yeah.
I chugged a beer with Nappy Roots at their brewery,
right.
So I've done a lot of, and I mean, we had, the Beer Chugs and Harmony beer and our audio speeches and stuff. So like it's really developed into something. And, and I know like some people are asking you like, oh, like how much money do you make on it? I do this for fun. And that's, I know some people have a hard time understanding it. They're like, how have you not like really monetized this yet? And well, number one, I'll say not every brewery wants me to repeat fuckers on their social media and stuff. But it's just, I just tell them like, can you not just have a hobby? Like some people play sports as a hobby. Some people, paint little figurines or something. Mm-hmm. This is what I like to do. Do it once a week. It takes 60 seconds. That's all it is.
That's what I tell my girlfriends when they're like, I don't get it. And I explain, the story. It was our first drink of the week on Fridays. And then we go from there. I say, this is Nate's hobby. He doesn't play video games. He doesn't do drugs. He's not going to strip clubs. He's not going out to bars all the time. He's not doing this or this or this. Beer is his hobby. He loves learning about beer, finding new beers, talking about beer, drinking beer, visiting beer, breweries and things. So it's definitely a hobby of yours. That's
been
become
fun.
Awesome. And I know people love it and love seeing you.
Yeah. So, but I think at some point this year, it'll probably be time to just kind of do it when I think it's special. And also another thing I wanted to bring up is I do it horizontally, which in the last 6 years is kind of almost not the norm anymore. Yeah. Like everything's vertical now, TikToks and Instagram Reels and stuff. But I kept it vertical because I knew at some point I wanted to do a compilation and I didn't want to have like the bars. So like if it's going back and forth between horizontal and vertical and stuff like that. So I think maybe once I do that, I might switch it over to doing vertical.
I think you should.
Or do a different format, I don't know. Like I'll have to brainstorm. But if anybody has any suggestions, what they'd rather see or what they want to see, do you want to know more about the beer? Do you want to know more about what I'm doing and where I'm at?
Yeah.
Maybe I can make it into like kind of a micro podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we'll have to see where it goes. But anyway, I thank you everybody who has watched my videos and liked them and shared them and came to our events and sent me beers. So many listeners and friends have brought and sent me beers. So I really appreciate it and all the support. And speaking of support, buymeacoffee.com/Hansons on hiatus. Just like Jonathan Lester did, send us 5 beers,
Thank
virtual
you,
beers. I wish they had a brand or I would chug it for my Beer Chugs in Harmony.
Yeah.
But also support the podcast, follow, like, subscribe, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, iTunes, Google Podcasts for now.
Yeah.
Might be Google Music in the future. But thank you, everybody, for listening. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and happy Friday, fuckers.
Happy Friday, fuckies.
That's it. Thanks for listening. Goodbye for now. Bye.